Okay. Cheers. Cheers.
I know ritual.
Yes, we're back.
Glass of wine. We're back.
We're back. Whatever. Part of a sabbatical.
I live on the witch's sabbatical.
It's another biblical style word. Sabbatical. I know. So it made me think of it. Sacraments. Sacraments. Yeah. Those are beautiful words. But they're beautiful words. Yeah. So, talking today about devotion. Devotion.
Also quite a book word.
It is a biblical word. In a way, I suppose there were words previous to.
Mm-hmm. Bhakti is the word in Sanskrit.
I love that word. Bhakti. Yeah, it feels like it feels good at the Baya.
Because it's meant to be the worship from the heart.
I still love that.
And it's often singing.
Yeah.
Singing opens the heart. It opens the pathway from the heart through the throat.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
It is beautiful.
We're not talking about singing, but devotion to self.
Well, I think, I mean, if you, it goes to the joy piece. So yeah, it actually is a great transition to what brings you joy is your devotion to self.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, like when you just said singing, it makes me think of people that I work with who were like, well, I used to love to sing. I used to love to dance. I used to love to play. I used to love to paint. I used to love to write. They don't do it anymore.
And I wonder why life doesn't feel as sparkly as it could. And, devotion to self, yes, but also what does it mean to be in devotion to something bigger?
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think, is the key to devotion to self.
Yeah. And I know, like, in our sabbatical time period, I've really been, I just might as well say it, during our sabbatical, which means a time period, I'm not, I actually use the same word twice in a different way. I've been really sitting with that, this like connection to spirit that, like, how do I, with my language, like, how do I get there? And like trying to fit ritual into the everyday when you are, living an embodied life of, practice or love or spirituality. It's like, if I haven't done and I haven't, and that piece has really brought me back to myself being like, oh no, like it's about my rest and my nourishment and my like body practice and like my like having a glass of wine, having a hot bath, and like treating myself like I'm the thing to honor, I'm the piece to honor, which we've spoken to, we've worked in this idea or concept, yet we were missing that embodiment piece. Like it just hadn't been brought back into what it feels like to be in the body. And when, like I went away and I went to Spain and like walking the Camino and like that was the ritual. There was nothing else but the body in nature and the mind in the heart. And that was the closest to God I feel you could feel for me in my experience. And you have your own like meditation practices and your deep body practices and understanding that it's actually about that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that we're not here to bypass through ritual to avoid showing up for ourselves in the hard things in life, right? So it's like, how are you nourishing yourself? That's devotional practice, right? How are you taking care of your body? Like, are you walking? Are you getting in nature? Are you lifting the weights if that's what works for you? Are you putting the right boundaries around what it feels like to be chosen in relationship and choosing yourself? Are you putting the right boundaries to get the right amount of rest?
Mm-hmm.
What are you worshiping with your time and your attention and your energy? Like, what are you worshiping?
Mm-hmm.
And then we think about, oh my God, yeah, I don't have time to do this, but I look at my screen time and I was on Instagram for 2 hours or something today, right? Like those are things where there's where the rubber meets the highway is actually where our devotional practice is. It's like how we actually show up
For yourself. And that very practical ways. 100%. And that makes me feel I feel like we have a belief system around self-worship. It was again like very much like a lot of our early conditionings in church and religion. It's like you should be selfless to be closest to God would be being selfless and to giving to others. Yet, being the body of the goddess and like, or like the creator mother and like in that energy and like also like the divine masculine would be to actually self worship,
Yeah.
right? So this is a clear pathway that's open to God's language,
Yeah. Oh, I
right?
love that. Yes. Absolutely.
But it's a bit of a mind fuck because it's like we're told not to be like that.
To make sure everybody else is good before you take the time for yourself.
Yeah.
Make sure everybody else is nourished. Make everybody else the food that they like. Woohoo. Stay up late to get all the things done. Ooh. Do things for other people. I don't know, all of these things. And it's wonderful to be in relationship and to offer to each other, but not from a full cup, not from an empty cup.
Yeah, 100%.
So I feel like that filling of the cup, and where does that come from? That comes from our sense of being in ourselves and knowing that there's a very different thing. Like you can offer the same action of love to someone or service to someone from a full cup or an empty cup. And one is auditioning for love or trying to prove worthiness. And one is a natural outpouring of limitless resource that you have. Ooh. Very, very different energy in the same action.
That's right.
Making someone dinner because they're trying to earn something is very different from making someone dinner because cooking is your language of love and you love to make the food and offer to someone and so starting to get a little loud.
Well, that's very Taurian. I love to cook. I just don't want to clean up the kitchen. That's not fun.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I feel like
That's not my forte.
that's okay. I feel like, when we even as someone who works in a healing modality, we see this a lot with even nurses and doctors and all sorts of like firefighters, teachers even. It's like, well, I have a life in service, which I believe I'm meaning a life in service. So it's like I must be suffering, which again is this whole kind of like Christ-like idea of like I must be suffering to be in service. So you don't feed yourself, like you don't, make sure your clothes are like laid out nice for you or that you're taking time being a doorman. We just don't, we're like, oh, well, I should be tired and like using my body to be getting to others. And it's really like, no. It should feel good, Will should. It should feel good.
Yes.
Yeah,
If anything, if it doesn't feel good, it's not authentic.
that's right. I completely agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about like getting up in the middle of the night when you'd rather be sleeping to like nourish your baby.
Oh, of course.
Because that's actually what feels like the right thing to do. I'm not saying that we don't go through like challenges in our in our capacity sometimes.
For an aging parent or a sibling who is in need, and you put your own needs aside temporarily to be in loving service to someone who you care for, that's completely different.
As long as from a place of I realize when I'm doing it, I'm choosing this from my heart.
That's right.
Right? Yeah. But what we're talking about, how many people can resonate with this? Like, you know what you should be eating. You know how much rest you should be getting. You know how much water you should be drinking. You know how many steps you should be walking. You know how you should be moving your body. That many, 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 many shoulds. And are you doing them? Right? And then, if not, what gets in the way? What should you make more sacred? And then our little hypothesis that we've been working with, last little while is okay. Many of us know all the shoulds, and they're still sometimes not showing up for ourselves the way we should. Again, others should. So what's the secret sauce? And
I love that.
actually, oh, is that a very window there? Hello, secret sauce. That when you realize that how you worship what you hold sacred, how you worship the goddess, how you worship the divine is actually through how you show up for yourself to be as full of cup as possible. That what if eating in a beautiful way that's nourishing and gratifying and beautiful in all of the ways, like it tastes good, it looks good, it was a pleasure to prepare. You're not sitting at the counter eating quick. All of the ways. What about how you nourish yourself is your way of worshiping the goddess?
Yeah.
What if you working out and like feeling strong and like being out in nature is you worshiping the goddess. So it's like how you would, instead of showing up to pray, it's like your prayer is actually being lived through your body experience.
Well, instead of pulling your tarot cards or like casting a spell, all these things are beautifully fun, like earth-based, more pagan style practices that a lot of women feel very called to because it's part of our body. We remember those things, right? But it's like, what if you didn't have to go there for the answer key?
Yeah.
What if the answer key was like taking yourself for a walk and listening? What if the answer key was like putting on a dance video and like exercising in a playful way? Like, what if the answer key was like spending time, like slowly getting ready and like putting on that, like, a little bit of makeup if you like, or like a perfume that smells good, or a piece of jewelry that feels very like beautiful to you that makes you feel good? What if that like 5 minutes was like the answer key to the bigger questions?
And like, yeah, tarot spread is wonderful. It's okay, I love it. You act on it in the real world with the perspective that it gives you of, oh, sometimes it's nice to have astrologers slowly to receive a mirror that's something that your body remembers as, oh, yes, this is where I've been giving my power away, or this is a truth I need to speak, or this is a practice I need to do, or maybe you've received the Queen of Pentacles and to like focus on nourishing yourself. You can have all of the things and the information out there that you want as a mirror, but are you bringing it into your body into actual practice?
If it's not a sensory experience, if it's not becoming a part of you, then it's just something that you're bypassing.
Yes.
A problem, an emotion, a tendency in a program, right? Stand up here.
How can I think about it instead of feel it and live it? Yeah. Can I understand it instead of feel it and live it? Yes.
And we all want to be, or like I shouldn't say we all want to be, I want a life where I feel embodied and fully present with higher consciousness, with source energy, with the goddess energy. That's what I've desired and what I want for myself. And that could be something that people want to have for themselves. And this is where we've come from a long teaching where we've done lots of different modalities, and it's a beautiful experience, to, more condensed practices that are really just about taking care of you and being in your body and being in your daily ritual practices, which is a lot about like, how do I eat? How do I move? How do I care for? How do I worship self?
That's right.
As the offering to the goddess.
And when we do that, when you tend to that, yeah, you're right. You don't need you might very rarely ever need to step out of yourself to have another perspective from the inside in. Because if the practice is there and it's in, your whole body becomes like the pendulum.
Yeah, always.
It's always there. It's always communicating the yeses and the nos and the resonances and the disharmonies. It's always there. Yeah. So that's where we've come to, where instead of, an idea of a priestess apprenticeship of learning ritual and learning how to read your charts and all these beautiful things that we still like love very much, what if the way of walking with the goddess is actually a pilgrimage to self?
Yeah.
And that your own empowerment and inner listening is the prayer. Right?
Yeah. And you are the offering. You are the offering. In a way of like so much self-love, so much self-care, and and we'll come up against those blocks, but it's in such a loving, more like inquiry of self way, as opposed to externally looking for ways to redevote. Like the desire is already there, like the compass is already inquiry within you. So finding it, remembering that is the key. So we're really excited.
And that's the sacrament, like the devotion to self, the showing up.
Yeah, that's the secret sauce.
It's the secret sauce. Yeah. That the saying no to one thing and saying yes to what's this actually serving you is like a ritual,
No, you just see yourself in such a way that you become so sacred that you're fearless in communicating your emotions and your boundaries and your desires and in a compassionate way, kind and loving, but you get valued first, right? All of those things are just real life tools that we'll be able to use. So we start November 5th. Is that right? Yeah.
And then it's going to be an online. First time we've done something fully online. Though there will be options to anybody who's able to travel and be in presence through the solstices and equinoxes for the middle of the year will always be welcome in person. But I mean, when I think about it, it's actually kind of feels like a community based like coaching container in a way too. Of there's going to be that sacred community of accountability where the ways that we devote to self might be different between. It's not like there's a prescription of
That's right.
these are the things that you must do in order to be a devotion to self. No, everybody's going to have their things that they already know they want to be doing.
Yeah.
And then to step into offering doing those things beyond self to the divine. Ooh. And then to walk in sisterhood and accountability to actually hold each other in that field.
That's